Okay. We're going to begin the meeting. A meeting of the Finance Committee was held on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025, at 7 p.m. in the Aldermanic Chamber and duly noticed in 2 places, including the city's website, in accordance with the requirements of RSA 91-A:2, Roman numeral 2. Excuse me. Mr. Clerk, would you please take the roll? Sorry.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Here.
Alderman Gouvet is here. Alderman Moran?
Here.
Alderwoman Timmons? Alderman Clemmons?
Here.
Alderman Klee?
I am here.
Mayor Donchis?
Mayor Donchis and Alderwoman Timmons have let us know that they would not be able to make it today. And we do have a quorum. Public comment? Seeing none. Communications.
Communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, in regard to annual preventative maintenance agreement in the amount not to exceed $25,196, funded from General Fund 54 Property Services. Make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a 1-year contract with Palmer and Sicard Incorporated for services and prevention maintenance on HVAC systems for all of the fire rescue facilities in the amount not to exceed $25,196. Funding will be through Department 152 Fire Rescue Fund, General Fund 54 Property Services.
Hi.
Good evening. Adam Pliot, Assistant Fire Chief. So this would be the 3rd year that we're looking to sign a service agreement with Palmer and Sicard. We've had a really great relationship working with them. They maintain all of our heating, air conditioning systems, 4 visits a year, filter changes. They service all of our boilers, clean the coils, condensers on our AC units. They help us make best decisions on what types of repairs or replacements need to happen. This year, they're up slightly on their costs. We're up $756 over last year's agreement, which puts us over that $25,000 threshold, which is why I'm here tonight. But what they have not gone up on is their hourly rate. So with the service agreement, it locks in hourly rate for labor. And that hourly rate has been unchanged for 3 years. And we all know that every year with inflation, escalation, things go up. So they've kept their labor rate the same for us.
Are there any questions? Seeing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? And that motion carries.
Thank you.
Next communication.
From Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, in regard to Amendment Number 2 for the parking garage office design in the amount not to exceed $70,659, funded from Bond 53 Professional and Technical Services. Make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve Amendment Number 2 with Randall Paulson to perform additional investigation on utilities in the planned expansion area of the parking garage in the amount not to exceed $70,659. Funding will be through Department 129 City Buildings Fund, Bond 53 Professional and Technical Services.
Mr. Roche?
Good evening. Amy DeRoche, Administrative Services. So yes, this will be for Randall Parlson. They are designing the office expansion over at the parking garage on Elm Street. In addition to some additional investigation that's needed to make sure we know where all of the utilities are located before they, design foundations and such. They'll also be designing to relocate an existing drain that is in the garage deck, and also for some EV charging stations that have been expressed the desire to go in. And that should cover everything we need to do with Randall Paulson. Happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions? Alderman Gouvet?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess my question is more about the funding and the bond. So is this bond part of that $16 million overhaul project that we're doing both garages with?
Yes, it is.
And that's where this money's coming from?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
And so let's raise hands.
3-2.
Okay. 3-2. Okay, and that motion carries. Next communication.
From Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, in regard to Amendment Number 1 for the parking garage repairs in the amount not to exceed $526,972.53, funded from Bond 53 Professional and Technical Services. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve Amendment Number 1 with Whitening Turner Construction for unseen items such as battery-powered fixtures, abatement of hazardous materials, security camera, redesign, and ground wire conduit replacement in the amount not to exceed $526,972.53. Funding will be through Department 129 City Buildings, Fund Bond 53 Professional and Technical Services.
Ms. Gerard? I'm sorry, Mrs. DeRoche.
Too many Amy's.
Yes.
Amy DeRoche, Administrative Services. So yes, this is for a couple unforeseen items that came up during our garage restorations that we have going on over there. We need to put in some battery-powered emergency lighting, and there's some abatement that came up in the form of asbestos and a lead pipe that is over there that will need to be removed.
Just as a question here, this is still within the same bond? We're
That's
not
correct.
having to add to that. Are there any other questions? Alderman Clemmons?
Yeah, does this put the bond amount that we have approved in jeopardy?
It does not.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? All those in favor?
oh.
I'm sorry. That's okay. Alderman Moran?
Thank you. Why such a swing, or is it considered such a is it a typical to be off that by that amount, or is this large, or?
When you run into hazardous materials, it can be costly,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what you need to have removed. So that's going to account for the bulk of the swing.
I'll follow up.
Sure.
And they did due diligence and such before initial quotes?
Yes, but sometimes it's just hidden inside the structure, and you can't see it.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
3-2. And that motion carries.
Oh,
Did it?
no, it failed. I
Oh,
I
I'm
voted
sorry.
no.
Okay, sorry.
Division?
Division? Yep.
Division? Okay.
We can roll call it if you guys want. It's up to you.
So I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I did not, Alderman
Let's do a
Moran?
roll call.
Oh,
Okay, let's
I
do a
didn't
roll
hear
call.
correct.
Okay.
Stand by. Alderman Thibodeau?
Nay.
Alderman Govey is a nay. Alderman Moran?
No.
Alderman Clemmons?
Yes.
Chair Klee?
Yes.
3 nays, 2 yeas, motion
Okay,
fails.
so that's 2 to 3, and that failed. Okay.
Next, communication from Amy Gerard.
Madam Chair, actually, if I can?
Yes.
Just a point of order. These services do need to be done in order to complete the structural repair, so I'm not sure what our next course of action
Okay.
should be.
Madam
So
Chair.
otherwise, the project can't continue.
Okay.
All right.
Alderman Moran?
Well, that's different. Having voted on the prevailing side, I would ask that it be
Reconsidered?
reconsidered, a motion for reconsideration.
Motion for reconsideration is in order.
Stand by 1 second, please.
And I would vote, I would
Okay.
hope that everyone would then vote yes for reconsideration.
Okay.
Ready when you are.
Okay. All those in favor of reconsideration, say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed?
Nay.
Alderman Thibodeau, did you say yea or nay? For reconsideration?
So this is the first time I've done that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
then now we have.
So what
that's just-
reconsideration does is says we bring the question back. That's all it does.
Gotcha.
So did you say yea or nay for
I
bringing?
said yea.
Yea? Okay, so that's 4 yeas and 1 nay. Okay.
So the new motion
Is to,
would be the read.
for,
Reconsider.
Be the
to,
reconsider.
to, whether this will,
Reconsideration.
reconsideration of the communication. Okay. So all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed?
Nay.
Okay, so that's now 3 yeas and 2 nays. And that motion now carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the clarification. Okay, when you're ready.
Just a quick
Yep, not a problem.
All right, next communication from Amy Jar, Purchasing Manager, in regard to Amendment Number 2 for the Owner's Project Management OPM Services in the amount not to exceed $142,832.20, funded from Bond 53 Professional Technical Services. Make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve Amendment Number 2 with Greenman Peterson Incorporated, CPI, for continued oversight of the parking garage renovation project in the amount not to exceed $142,832.20. Funding will be through Department 129 City Buildings Fund Bond 53 Professional Technical Services.
Are there any questions on this? Alderman Moran?
Has this also been already done and we have to pay for it?
The city would very much like to retain our services from our OPM, our Owner's Project Manager. He's been with us since 2024 and has been running an amazing project alongside the city. It would be wonderful to retain his services until the completion of the project.
Thank you.
Any follow-up?
No,
Any other question?
no.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Sure. Alderman Clemmons?
Thank you. I think for me, the important question on some of these was answered, and that is, are we within the original amount of money that we bonded? And the answer to that question was yes. So for me, at least from my perspective, we are staying within what we told the taxpayers we would.
I also want to comment on this. I've worked on a lot of projects since I've been an alderman in the past 8 years, and having a project manager, we can't all be experts in these things, and having an expert, a project manager who can actually work in this. Right now, I'm working with the PD, we've been working with the DPW, worked on school projects and so on, and having someone with that expertise, they kind of hold our hand. They tell us, they work with the architects, they work with the contractors, they work with the construction people, and they keep things moving along. We really need their expertise. I'm not saying that we would not do a good job, but I don't think we would do as good a job. So to benefit the taxpayers and to be good stewards of the taxpayers' money, I think this is money well spent. And as long as it's within the bond that we promised the taxpayers we would not exceed, I think it's money well spent. So I would be voting in favor of it. Having said that, are there any other questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed?
Nay.
Again, 3-2.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Next communication.
From Amy Jar, Purchasing Manager, in regard to hydropower engineering change order number 2 in the amount not to exceed $41,700, funded from Capital Improvements 53 Professional Technical Services. Make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve change order number 2 with Van Dice LLC for additional scope to the contract to include bathymetric and LiDAR detection surveys at both the Jackson Mills Hydroelectric Facility and Mines Falls Hydroelectric Facility in the amount not to exceed $41,700. Funding will be through Department 170 Hydroelectric Operations Fund, Capital Improvements 53 Professional and Technical Services.
Ms. Chisholm?
Hi, good evening. Deb Chisholm, Sustainability Manager, Hydroelectric Facility Overseer. We currently have a contract with Verdantis, and they are responsible for doing the engineering design work for the upstream and downstream fish passage at both facilities. This change order is a bit of a change in scope to cover 2 forms of survey. The LiDAR survey is the basically it's the surface survey, so the existing structures and the land will be surveyed using the LiDAR, and the bathymetric survey is for the river bottoms. They have an actual, I'll let you know when it's going to happen, they have an aquatic drone that goes out that will actually survey the elevations of the bottoms of the bottom of the river at both locations. And that survey data will really form the basis for the future detailed designs for both of those facilities for fish passage.
May I ask a question? Is this also part of the must-do for the dollars and so on that we've received?
It is indeed part of the requirements as part of the relicensing for Mine Falls and the license exemption amendment that we were given by FERC for Jackson Mills, correct?
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Comments? Okay. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? And that motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next motion?
From Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, in regard to screening and disinfection hydraulic gate cylinder repairs in the amount not to exceed $79,650, funded from Wastewater Fund 54 Property Services. Make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the repairs of the screening and disinfection facility drain chamber hydraulic system by New Hampshire Hydraulics in the amount not to exceed $79,650. Funding will be through Department 169 Wastewater Fund 54 Property Services.
Hi.
Good evening, Dave Boucher, wastewater superintendent. The wastewater facility maintains a screening and disinfection facility located off of Bridge Street. It has a million-gallon underground holding tank. This is to repair the hydraulic cylinders on the discharge gates of this tank. It went out to bid, and the New Hampshire Hydraulics was the low bidder on this. We have to answer any questions?
Alderman Clemmons?
Yeah, I don't see this on my agenda. Could just be me, though. I don't know if it was changed or, because mine goes from the one we just did to,
The paving, that would be the next one up for us.
I have,
I have pavement.
I have it on here,
I'm showing it on my iPad, too.
and I have it here.
I'll get it on this one if you want this one.
was
So it
this
is on the
the,
agenda for tonight.
It's the
Hydraulic gate,
Here.
and then
okay, no, I do have it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
okay.
What was the amount again? That you,
70,
Oh, sorry.
it's $79,650.
so maybe that's where I'm getting caught up, because on the agenda, it says 41,700.
41,700, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
too.
so the agenda is wrong, yeah.
So was the agenda just, I guess my question is, was the agenda just a misprint, or did the price go up between now and then, or?
No, it was a misprint.
Ms. Gerard?
Thank you. Amy Gerard, yes. It was a typo on my end. It's
Okay.
the dollar amount that was in the memo was the dollar amount of the previous
Okay.
memo, and I
Okay.
made an error in
No.
updating the dollar amount.
That's fine. But good catch, Alderman Clemmons.
Thank you. Now you know why I was confused.
Not a problem, not a problem. Good catch, though. Alderman Thibodeau.
For clarification, which number is the right number?
The correct number is $79,650.
Okay.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes, thank you. Are there any other questions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? And that motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, communication.
Communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, in regard to 2023 pavement marking change order number 3 in the amount not to exceed $162,000, funded from General Fund 54 Property Services. And make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve change order number 3 to Markings Incorporated to add additional quantities of pavement markings contract for the FY24 contract in the amount not to exceed $162,000. Funding will be through Department 161 Streets Fund, General Fund 54 Property Services.
Is there anybody here to speak to that?
I am.
Oh,
This is
sorry,
John
Mr.
Ibarra, the
Ibarra.
superintendent of the street department. So this is our last final change order for our pavement marking program funded through our operating budget. And next time we'll be going out to bid. What I will note is that we are very pleased with the timeliness and the product that this outfit has been providing for us. They show up when they say they're gonna, and they deliver an outstanding product. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions? Alderman Thibodeau.
This, is this for specific roads that are already currently identified, or is this like a blanket contract to be used when and where needed, as long as it does not exceed the dollar figure?
That is correct, but it's utilized citywide, whether we do thermoplast, crosswalk striping, or long lines.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
You're welcome.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries. Next
Thank you.
communication. Thank you.
From Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, in regard to purchase of asphalt and aggregates in the amount not to exceed $147,000, funded from General Fund 61 Supplies and Materials. Make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the sole source purchase of asphalt and aggregates from Brock's Industries and Continental Paving, Incorporated, in the amount not to exceed $147,000. Funding will be through Department 161 Street Fund, General Fund 61 Supplies and Materials.
Mr. Ibarra, I assume that's you as well?
That is correct, thank you. This motion will be to fund out of our operating budget the aggregates and the asphalt that we use through our mill and fill program and any sewer repairs that we do citywide, any infrastructure that the street department repairs. And I'm happy to answer any questions regarding that.
Are there any questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Next communication?
From Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, in regard to Water Street Guardrail Repainting Project in the amount not to exceed $60,000, funded from Riverfront TIF Fund 54 Property Services. Make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a contract with ED Sweat Incorporated to rehabilitate a portion of the Water Street guardrails to include removal and disposal of paint and surface rust from all guardrail system surfaces prior to the repainting in the amount not to exceed $60,000. Funding will be through Department 183 Economic Development Fund, Riverfront TIF Fund 54 Property Services.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Yes, I'm Dan Hudson, City Engineer. I'm here filling in for Liz Hannum tonight, Director Hannum, she's away. This is to paint the guardrail, repaint the guardrail from the 4 Water Street driveway down to the crosswalk that's near the parking lot on Water Street. As construction is moving along in the park and things are shaping up, we realize that that section of guardrail is the paint's in disrepair and it's going to be unsightly next to the new rehabilitated park. So we're seeking to, blast off, remove the paint, and basically just repaint it. We bid this out. We received 2 bids. The low bidder is ED Sweat, who is working just down the street behind Clock Tower on that bridge removal project. So that's probably why their bid was more favorable than the next bidder, because they're right there and are able to perform the work in a timely manner. I'd be happy to address any questions.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Hudson. New business resolutions?
None?
New business ordinances?
None.
Tabled in committee?
None.
Record of expenditures?
I move that the Finance Committee has complied with the city charter and ordinances pertaining to the record of expenditures for the period of August 15, 2025 to August 28, 2025.
Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries. General discussion. Alderman Moran.
Thank you. I just want to go back to my vote earlier.
Yep.
It's not so much a disagreement with expanding funds of what's been approved by the board, I guess. More so, I just thought it was a big number. But I understand work order changes occur throughout a project. Sometimes I question the process of how things are done in general, but to have something also already done and where the body that approves funds, it worries me because we have a federal government that doesn't use the power of the purse right now. So I think modeling that behavior of knowing when money gets spent as it's spent is probably a better option than having the work done than coming in and asking for approval.
Well, I think I'm going to correct, and Mr. Roche can correct what I'm about to say. I think you're misunderstood. She didn't say that it was already spent. What she was saying is the project cannot continue if we don't approve it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because that's part of the
The double-edged sword of that.
That's a
is what
double-edged sword of-
I'm trying
right,
to
yeah,
highlight
right.
is like, then why even have the vote at all, right? Like it's already been approved, why have the vote? And then it's like a double-edged type of thing.
I agree with you. We could have stopped the project.
Right,
Is
and that's-
really what it was.
And then you got to wonder, like, sometimes is that baked into the bids and other aspects of how people bid on these processes?
Good
It's just to have the conversation out loud that
Good points.
who really has the
Right.
authority to do what
Right.
and with what funds. I'm sure I have a better straightforward answer over here. No offense to the chair, I meant myself.
No, please. No, no, all your points are good points. I just wanted to clarify when you said that it already been approved, meaning that we'd spent the money. I wanted to
Meaning
clarify that, but I agree with you, the double-edged sword.
Spending more money, even though it's up to a wall,
Right,
but still.
yeah, but it's kind of the same thing when you fall into a hole and you say, well, we've got to fix that hole. So it's that. Alderman Clements, please.
So, thank you. So, no, they are good points, but a couple of points I guess I would make on it is these large projects, they always have a contingency put aside for things exactly like this that come up. In New Hampshire, in Nashua in particular, there's asbestos everywhere. And, you know, who would have thought that in a building that was built in the 1970s, the mid-1970s, that they would still be using asbestos? But you have to think back. In Nashua, we had an asbestos company operating until 1984. So, you know, New Hampshire was far behind on the time, so it doesn't surprise me that they found that in there, number one. But two, that's why we have the contingency, is because we know that on these projects, especially these renovation projects, we're gonna run across stuff like that, you know, lead pipes, whatever, crazy stuff that happen. The only other thing I will say is that we could have voted no, we could have stopped it. And then what probably likely would have happened is we would have gone back to the project manager or the contractor and said, you know, what can we do to pare down costs either here or somewhere else in the project? And then, you know, that's probably the discussion that would have taken place, and you know, that is what would have been brought back to us. But there's a cost to that, right? So there's a cost to that, and it's time, and time is always money. You know, by delaying that piece of it, nothing else moves forward. So winter's approaching. I don't know what they can do in the winter in that garage. Maybe they can work through it, maybe they can't. So there's always something to consider. Every vote has a purpose, has a meaning. We could always vote no and do something. It doesn't mean it would stop the project. It just means completely, but it would stop it intermediately. And then we'd have to figure out, okay, now what do we do? So I appreciate the vote for reconsideration, because I don't think that would have been a great situation for us to be in if we had not gone forward in this, because of all the things I stated, that, you know, it would be a matter of delaying that project and basically rewriting everything.
Exactly.
Can I just,
Sure.
real quick, and I think maybe that's what I'm seeking then, more conversation like this, because from the outsider's perspective, and I'm not saying that the city did anything improper at all, it's the process that they follow. Because otherwise you basically had to say yes to that, and then it gets misconstrued, and instead of having using this time and general discussion to hammer out the details and explain why to the folks that, oh well, they could have stopped it, and it could have cost more money in the process.
And I truly appreciate this conversation happening.
Of course.
Did you want to, I know Alderman Govea has a comment as well.
I know Director Cummings wants to make sure he knows that I'm
But
wrong.
I just want, before Director Cummings say anything, I want to point out that we ran across something similar to this, actually with the Hunt Building, when when they were working on the Hunt building, if I remember correctly, when they were doing the stack, they went in and they found out that there was a pipe in there and so on, and it was something that was unexpected, and so on. It was just, they had done their due diligence, they had done everything, and all of a sudden, there was this pipe that was in there that was just not expected and so on. So we have these situations where they do that, and if we had stopped that it would have completely collapsed.
And then we
you know.
also hear how sorry to interrupt.
No,
We
please,
also hear
please.
how we're so easy to approve $500,000 without asking questions at the same time.
Right, but that's why this conversation is good, and I'm glad you brought it out. And Director Cummings, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Tim Cummings, Director of Administrative Services. I think the conversation and the point tonight is well taken. And I kind of foresaw this kerfuffle coming together. Because I had made mention that this project could get regular updates at the Infrastructure Committee. And this particular project does not fall under the jurisdiction of a joint committee process, which is unique. And I don't know why, and that's probably a conversation to be had at some point process-wise. But nonetheless, some of the engagement that I think I'm hearing you're looking for actually happens like through the joint committee process. And now what we have is this bifurcated process where we're going to be giving project status updates at Infrastructure Committee, but yet when we're going to need financial approval of anything, it comes through the Finance Committee. And so I kind of teased this out the other night because I thought this conversation was going to come about, and we kind of recognize that we have a couple members on the Infrastructure Committee, also double on the Finance Committee. The point being, and the reason why I wanted to stand up is, if this group and this body wants additional details, we're happy to provide it. Let us know what you're looking for. We're absolutely happy to give you a project update if that's what you so desire. I guess we're going to be seeking direction from you as to what it is you'd like, so we can, have a successful process. Thank you.
To Director Cummings' point, at the Infrastructure Committee, both myself and Alderman Thibodeau are on infrastructure, and he did comment that he would give regular updates there, and we both mentioned that we were on finance, and that we would happily bring anything back to finance as things came up and so on, so that he would keep infrastructure in the loop, and those reports would, as aldermen, we would see those reports, but
Right, no, I
they would not
agree with everything
necessarily
that's
come-
been said, and I
Yeah.
appreciate the conversation. It's the person who is tuning in, for some bedtime sleepy
Lullabies.
entertainment and not knowing what we're even talking about, wondering what they just, hey, why did they just spend $500 on a remodel? That the architect didn't catch the first time around, kind of thing. And I think maybe more of what can I do to explain that to the average day citizen so they get it, why it's so expensive and this is the process.
Alderman Gouvet?
Madam Chair, so obviously I voted no on those. I have consistently throughout this process. And for me, I actually think everything here made perfect sense. I just go back to day one of when we approved this as a full board. It came from an exemption of our city's spending cap or spending cap, yeah. Came from the exemption of money from our city spending cap. And to me personally, when we exempt money in that way, I think it should be used for really, really big emergencies and shouldn't be something that happens common. I just didn't think this project rose to that occasion. I do think this project did need to happen, absolutely. I'm on record saying that in our ad hoc committee process, that I was in favor of it. Just wasn't a big fan of how we got it here. So with that being said, I do think the project is being well administered from that standpoint. I'm not against that. I'm just against how we ended up getting here at the beginning of it. So I've been consistent with that throughout the process and plan on staying consistent on it.
Thank you. Alderman Clemens?
Yeah, the only other point that I will make is that, traditionally, there's policy in everything, right? And the Board of Aldermen has control over most of the purse strings that go on over $25,000, and obviously with the budget. But the Finance Committee's role really is to make sure that the money is there, and that that's kind of our number one, right? We're not to overspend and to make sure that the money is there in each of these projects. And it's less of a policy committee, although obviously, like, to Alderman Gavea's point, policy certainly comes up in all of the discussions that we have here. But I just hope that people, at home understand that, this committee's first priority is to make sure that the funds are available. And second to that is anything policy-wise that may or may not come up as a question of whether or not, this is something that we want to do or not. Because at this point, all of these things that come before us have been approved by the Board of Aldermen in some fashion. Like, for example, in the case of the parking garage, we approved the bond. So the project's been approved by this board. This is just the individual pieces that we're funding. So just a matter of tradition, I guess, is with what this committee typically does.
What I learned when I first came on this committee was that this committee was to make sure that that we didn't overspend. If the funds aren't here, it has to go to budget. We can't approve anything that wasn't already approved. So we're just making sure that the check that's written, there's money in the bank. That's all that we do, and that's all that we approve. But we can say, when a change order comes in, we can question why. Alderman Clemens and I have often questioned, why are we paying more for this vehicle? Why did we go with this EV when maybe there's a combustible? Why are we waiting so long and now the price has gone up? We've questioned things like that. Why is there a delay in it and now it's costing us more money? So those are questions that this body should be doing. You asked good questions. There is nothing wrong with the questions. Alderman Gouvet and Alderman Thibodeau, they're being consistent with how they're feeling about it. There's nothing wrong with anybody's voice and vote and so on. So, but this committee's voice and vote is not rubber stamp. We just have to make sure that the money is there and that we are only approving what has already been approved. And we're teasing it out for the public. This is the transparency to make sure that it's there.
And again, thank you everyone for the conversation.
Pardon?
Thank you for the conversation. I think it helps people.
I do too.
Especially me.
I do too. All of us.
When changing my vote.
All of us, it does. Are there any more comments in general discussion? Public comment? Seeing none. Remarks by Alderman. I do have a remark by Alderman. It seems ridiculous to come off of general comment, but it has nothing to do with the meeting. That's why I held it for this. I want to personally thank DPW because over the long weekend, I reached out to Director Photo because there was a sewer or a basin cover that was falling in, and I had a constituent that came to my door over the weekend because it had been hit. And she immediately got someone to take care of it. And I called her personally, and it was taken care of. I also called Matt LeBlanc, who also answered, but she was returning my call, so I said to him, nope, I'm going with the head. So they were very responsive, and I'd like to thank them for over the weekend, taking care of it immediately. So thank you so much over the long weekend to do that. Any other remarks by Alderman? Okay. Alderman Clemens, do you have a motion?
I do. Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And those opposed? No, we don't have Alderman Lopez here. And that motion carries. And we are adjourned at 7:38. Thank you, everybody, for the conversation.